Hi everyone, my name is Deborah and welcome to the Edit by DH. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'll be reviewing a brand called Dasique. I think in English it could be pronounced as Dasique. I think that's how a lot of you pronounce it, or Dasique. But in Korean writing, in Hangul, it is Dasique. And so that's what I will be calling it in today's video. I don't know if many of you are aware, but it's a very, very popular Korean brand, especially amongst the younger generation, hence the reason for the title of my thumbnail. And it is stocked in almost every single �12𝕉𝕉, or maybe even every single �12𝕉𝕉. For those of you who don't know, �12𝕉𝕉 is like the Sephora of Korea. So they stock multiple different brands. But the reason why I love �12𝕉𝕉 more so than Sephora is because it's firstly aimed at more affordable products, whereas Sephora has a real mixed bag. I know they have their own Sephora brand, which is very affordable, but they have like Dior, they have Natasha Denona, they have Rare Beauty, they have all these different things. And I know there's like a spectrum of prices, but in �12𝕉𝕉, it's mainly affordable makeup. So it's accessible to a lot more people, a lot more purse friendly, but also they stock other things. Much like Sephora, they have perfumes. Much like Sephora, they have skincare, hair care, etc. But I think �12𝕉𝕉 stands out because they also have men's skincare or men's beauty. They also have oral care, like toothbrush, etc. Anything that you sort of need that's toiletry related, you can be almost guaranteed that �12𝕉𝕉 will have it. Plus, they have snacks. And who doesn't want snacks? Honestly, like my two favorite things in a store is snacks and beauty. So that's �12𝕉𝕉. So Dasique is stocked in �12𝕉𝕉. And as far as I'm aware, they haven't had their own sort of like standalone or freestanding store until earlier this year, unless that's their flagship store. But they have a big store now in Seongsu in Seoul, Korea. And it's over 4 floors. And so the basement floor is like perfume, fragrance. The main floor, which in the UK we call the ground floor, but in Korea and Singapore, they call it the first floor. I don't know what you guys call it in the States, but like the main floor is where they have all their makeup and all the collections, and that's where you make the purchases. Then the second floor is a cafe that is all about, it's Dasique Cafe. It's all very themed around the makeup collections. And then on the top floor is a teddy bear, I don't know, workshop, which I'll tell you a little bit more about towards the end, but it was really random but super fun. So I know of Dasique because I started to use one of their contour palettes, but it's a brand that I haven't explored further. I haven't used their foundation, like eyes, lips until now. And I really wanted to do this review for 2 reasons. One, to introduce a Korean brand to you, another Korean brand should I say, because I've already reviewed Hera Beauty and Seolwasu, so if you haven't seen them, they'll be linked down below. But for another reason, that because they are kind of like deemed to be high street brand price store, I wanted to see if it was suitable for someone who is almost in their 40s. So that's why I also reviewed it. I didn't really know a lot about Dasique in terms of the brand's origin. I believe they started in 2018, so it's a relatively new brand. And to be honest, it was very difficult to find information about the brand. Maybe there are Korean articles that I wasn't able to find on, you know, the trusty old Google. Maybe I need to look on Naver, which is Korea's version of Google. But there wasn't a lot of information, so I had to really try and find stuff about the brand. But from what I know, it is basically, just to give you a quick summary, known for high quality makeup, minimalist packaging, vegan and cruelty-free products. It's inspired by nature, mainly flowers, fruits, candy and ice cream. I mean, I don't think ice cream is branded as nature, neither is candy, but there you go. And the brand's tagline is blooming your own beauty. Their best-selling products include the shadow palette, the blending mood cheek palette, and their mood up mascara long and curl. And like I said earlier, Dasique products are vegan and cruelty-free. So I have actually done a full face of Dasique makeup. I apologize, it's slightly gone into evening, so I've had to turn the light on. In a moment when you see me doing the makeup from scratch, you'll see that it is bright daylight. I have to apologize about the light. Singapore's weather is very temperamental, so there's a lot of thunderstorms. There's a lot going on weather-wise. So the light was a little bit crazy, so I had to adjust at times. And also there's a construction site outside. So I am so sorry if there's any disruption with light or any disruption with background noise. I try to do my best considering the circumstances. But either way, as always, I film all swatches and do all of that pre-filming. So all of that is fine, very accurate, very clear. You'll see it on the screen. In fact, the swatches are stunning. And I hope you will enjoy seeing how I transformed my bare face to this using all Dasique products. So I obviously want to start with concealer just because I need as much coverage as I can get. So I don't really have like darks under eye circles, but I have a little bit of puffiness, and it gets worse as I get older. I also have lots of like broken, I don't know if you call them capillaries. I'm starting to get sort of like dark spots on my face. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's move, this stress. My skin tone color, I would say, is generally very uneven. So normally I would just use a concealer wand under my eyes, but Dasique doesn't have that, or Dasique as I should say. They don't have that. So they have a pro concealer palette, which is this one in 2 shades. Number 1 is called Cover and number 2 is called Medium Cover. So I obviously got the number 1 because it seems like it will have tones more suitable for my skin tone. When we look at color theory, it really reminds me of like makeup back in the day when we used to get this concealer palettes with the blues, the greens, the purples, the oranges in the palette. And really the whole purpose of it is to correct the skin. It's to apply before you put on your concealer or before you put on your foundation, so that everything looks a little bit more flawless. So it's almost like less of the foundation and more of clever usage of color to block out things that you want to block out. So a general guide, and I emphasize the word general, is that yellows cancel out purple, purple cancels out yellow, orange cancels out blue, blue cancels out orange, but orange can also be used and is great especially for the under eyes. Red cancels out green, green cancels out red. So that's a general rule. So for example, I do get redness on my cheeks, but I don't really want to slather on green all over my face. I mean, I could try, I don't mind doing it for you guys. And then obviously for my dark spots, I want to neutralize it. So I'll probably add a little bit of orange around my dark spots, which is normally like the high points of my face. I think I will add just a tiny bit of orange here, just to cancel out a little bit of the dark circles. And then I'll add the lighter color on top just to brighten. And then I've got a little bit of like, I feel like more darkness here. Maybe I'll use a purple to make it more brighter. So this is going to be really, really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to start with the green, which is this one here. And I'm just going to apply it to my red cheeks. I don't want to add too much because I don't want to do too much. So just dabbing it on where I tend to get a lot of redness. Do you know what I'm happy to do? I'm happy to do just one side of my face to see if it really makes a difference. I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but obviously I will be able to see, so I can give you the verdict. So I'm just going to apply this on the sides of my face that I get a lot of redness, which is around my nose as well. My chin actually gets a lot of redness, so I'll just do half my chin and here as well. Bear in mind, I don't normally do this, but like I said, I'm doing it for you guys always. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of the peach on the areas where I have some dark spots. So it's around here, and I have a lot of darkness here. I'll put some blue purple here just to brighten this area because I do want to brighten it up a bit. I always find my chin is really dark. Maybe it juts out. By the way, I don't normally care this much or to this extent. I'm just doing it for the purpose of this video. And then I think I'll put a little bit more green where I get redness here. And I want to put a little bit of peach under my eye where I get some dark circles. And then after I've done my foundation, I'm going to go over it with the brighter color. So before I go on to the foundation, I'm just going to read you more on this concealer. It says, cover any skin imperfections and blemishes with this concealer palette featuring 9 shades to target and color correct different areas of the face. The creamy formula spreads smoothly without caking and adheres tightly for long-lasting results. It's enriched with panthenol, ceramide and cica extract to keep skin moisturized. So that's that side of the face, and I just think I'm slightly laughing at my own reflection because I thought to myself, imagine if I started the video looking like this, like, hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I will return back to that palette, but I now just want to go on to foundation so I can show you guys what the foundation looks like, and also like one side without the pro concealer and one side with the pro concealer palette. So there are different foundations. I think there are 2 or 3 altogether, but I got the Water Dewy Gel Cushion Foundation because obviously the word dewy gives it away. I have drier skin. I asked them what's best for my skin type and they recommended this one. So there is one which is like this in this sort of round cover. You'll know the right one because it'll be pink. I believe the other foundation is a bluey color, if I'm not wrong. But there is a heart-shaped version of it, which I will show you later on when I go to gift with purchases. They're around these sort of shades where there's 21N, which is 21 natural. I believe that was like the lighter shade but neutral. Then 21C, which is cool rosy, which is again the lighter shade but with a cool undertone. And then I got 23N, which is obviously the slightly warmer shade with neutral undertone called natural. So let me just apply that. So this is what it looks like. Has obviously a cushion to apply the foundation, and if you open it up, that's what it looks like. I just swatched it briefly on my hand in the store, and I thought 23N looked better on me than 21N. Normally I'm on the paler side, but I don't want to look sick, and since I moved to Singapore I am a little bit warmer. So I'm just going to apply this to my pro concealer side first so I don't feel as ridiculous. So as you can see, the coverage is very, very good. Very good. I'm actually so surprised at how full on the coverage is. It's actually more medium coverage, I would say. I just dabbed a few times, bounced a few times into the sponge, and this is the coverage. I didn't need to top up. So a little goes a long way. I am so glad I decided to go with the 23N because as you can see, it's already lighter than what my face is right now. I am a little bit more tan since Korea, but even so, imagine if I'd gone with a 21N, that would have been very ghostly. So I'm glad I went with this shade. As you can see, it's also nicely covered up the pro concealer spots where I previously applied the colors, so that's nice. I mean, I like the fact that it's made my skin look very even. To be fair, I can still see slight imperfections through the foundation, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that it's not a full coverage. I personally think you can build it up to a full coverage just by going in and applying more, but for me, this is more than enough coverage. And I like the fact that it's dewy looking. It makes my skin look juicy without making it look sweaty. You guys might disagree, but I like this. I mean, obviously I will go in later with a powder just to spot powder in certain places, but as it stands, I like the finish of this foundation. I just want to make my face look even now. So I'm gonna go in on the side that didn't have any pro concealer, and let's see what it looks like without. Right, so I don't know if you guys can spot any difference between the two sides. When I look at the side that I applied the concealer to, I think it gives a tad more coverage and a tad more evenness, but very much a tad. I also feel like inevitably this side felt like a lot of more coverage quicker because of the creamy concealer underneath. I felt like this side, the makeup felt lighter for obvious reasons without the concealer. I think if I just went out right now, nobody would be like, oh, she's got this on one side of her face and that on the other side of her face. So it's very, very, very much if you just look very closely, but then you guys might disagree, you might be able to notice more from an objective standpoint. Maybe you can see more of a difference. I will come back to the foundation in a second. Just gonna go back to the concealer and just go in with the lightest shade there just to brighten under my eyes. Honestly, I feel so white. I feel like a geisha right now. So let me just dab a little bit of concealer under my eyes, not too much, because I actually don't like putting a lot of product under my eyes. And normally the concealers I do go for, they're very, very, very lightweight. The foundation doesn't feel wet. I can feel it sort of like setting, but not in a bad way. I can feel it sort of like drying down a little bit. So I'll be interested just to see how it settles down and performs once I've had it on my face for a little while and while I'm doing my other makeup. My skin's not that great today and it's drier than normal. So I kind of just want to see whether it encourages texture, whether it does anything to my skin, whether it remains looking like this, whether it mattifies a little bit more. Yeah, I'll let you know towards the end. So just to finish up giving you information on the foundation, it says this special edition of Dasique's Cushion Foundation Water Dewy Gel Cushion offers lightweight yet impeccable coverage with a jelly-like formula that easily produces a translucent finish with subtle glow. Hydrators such as glycerin and peach flower extract help maintain skin's oil water levels, while the included puff promotes precise and even application. And then it says the product is available in 3 natural looking shades catering to both warm and cool skin tones. So before I move on to powder, normally I would move on to powder and then use my powder blush. However, I have a creamy blush, so I want to use that first before I go on to powder. There are several of these cute Soufflé Color Pots, and there are, like I said, many colors, many colors, but I decided to get the one in Roasting Fig because I generally tend to like the pinky tones, but do not be deceived by the color of the lid or even what it looks like inside the pot. You have to see it on your skin to really know what it looks like. So when you first open it up, it comes with a little brush. It's like a lip brush because obviously this is for the lips, but you can also use it for the cheeks. I like the fact that it has that little brush, so it's very travel friendly, and then you can just use it on the go. But obviously, because I'm using it for the cheeks, I'm just going to use a different brush. I'm just going to apply it to the tops of my cheeks. Now, be warned that this pigment is really strong, which is a good thing. So I would go in with a little bit and then blend out where necessary. So I'm just going to blend out with these using a clean brush, but just sort of like the edges. So that's Roasting Fig, and I think it adds like a nice youthful glow. What I'll do is I'll apply it to my lips as well. And in fact, I'll use the brush that it comes with. I think it's a very nice color. But you see how soft the color is. I mean, obviously you can build it up for more, but you see how soft it is compared to how it looks like in the pot. So just to say, on the 𝕊𝕐𝕗 website, there are 23 colors of this Soufflé Color Pot. And to give you a bit more information, streamline your makeup routine with this soft glam essential functioning as tinted lip balm and blush, part of Dasique's Sweetheart collection. The product applies and blends out easily to promote a natural looking wash of color on lips. The heart-shaped packaging is icing on the cake, while the included mini brush promotes easy application, and yes, it does. Now, I did originally get a different color in this. I can't remember what color. Unfortunately, they gave me 2 of the same colors. I say unfortunately, I'm happy to use this. If I don't end up using it, I'll give it to somebody else, but I'm sure I'm going to use it. But they did give me another color in the gift for purchase, so I'll show you that a bit later on. But for now, I want to just keep this on. Now I'm going to go on to powder. So this is the Dasique's Soft Cotton Powder, and there only seemed to be one powder that I could see anyway, and it's a pressed powder. It's in this gorgeous sort of like pale baby blue packaging, and when you open it up, it includes this sponge, and then there's this cover, this plastic cover, which is a part of the compact. And I love that component because it will just always protect your powder. And then it's the pressed powder underneath, which is very, very white, but obviously it's supposed to be translucent. So it says it controls the excess sebum on the skin. You can set makeup with this lightweight pressed powder compact. The fine powder particles leave a smooth matte finish, and it's infused with cottonseed extract. The powder locks in moisture for comfortable wear. So I will literally use the sponge that they have provided. So I'm just going to go in the areas where I just want a little bit more of mattifying. So as you can see, it's done an excellent job of just sort of not only mattifying, but when I look at the areas around my nose where there's normally quite enlarged pores, even though my skin is dry, I find that especially around my T-zone area, it's very oily, and over the years I didn't used to have enlarged pores, but I've developed that. And so I do use sort of like a pore perfector thing by NARS, but it's not that great at like covering all of the pores. But the powder has sort of like filled in anything that needs to be filled in, and it looks quite smooth on the skin. So I'm quite impressed by this powder, and I'm sure you can agree that it doesn't make my face look whiter. I think it just makes it look a little bit more even. But anyway, if you have experience of using this powder, I'd love to know what your experience is of it, especially if you are a different skin tone to me. Next, I'm going to go in with contouring. So like this order has been really strange. Normally I would do powder, contouring, blush, highlight, but because of like the use of creams and powders, I'm doing it in this order for that purpose. I'm a huge fan of Dasique's contour palette, I guess, or compact. It's called Dasique V-Cut Blending Shading, and there's two colors, which is warm blending and cool blending. I always believe that with contour it should be a cool tone color, but many brands do contouring with warm undertones, and it doesn't look great. It just looks very orange. So I really like this one, and you'll know it's very loved. It looks gross. It's already down to the pan as well, and I'm trying to get the most out of it. I do have a backup, but I want to use this up first. I'll just do one side first just to show you the difference. Now what I like about this is very subtle, and I think in the West we're so used to using very strong contouring shades, but I like Korea's thinking around contour, where it's literally just creating delicate shadows, and those shadows alone are enough to make or give the perception that your face is more chiseled than it is. So this will bring a bit of warmth back to my face, as well as giving it a bit more definition. So hopefully you can notice that definition. If you guys saw the video where I got my makeup done by a Korean artist, it's really funny because, again, in the West I feel like we use more like precision pinpoint contouring, whereas in Korea they just use a massive brush and just try and delete all the fat from your face practically. So it's a very different way of contouring. The light is a bit strange, so I apologize. It's bright, then it's not, and it's just kind of messing with my camera, so please bear with me. And that's exactly why I do swatches pre-filming and then show you on the screen, so that you can see the most accurate swatches in natural light. So with the contour, I didn't buy it on this trip. I already own it, and it's something I already use and love, but I just wanted to show you because it's part of the Dasique family, so that's why I wanted to show you. So it says, sculpt and define your facial features with this tri-color shading palette. The lightweight powder applies and blends easily onto skin to create a soft blurred finish without appearing cakey or chalky. I would agree with that. So before I move on to eyes, I just want to finish up with some highlighter. So there is a powder highlighter that I came across, which is called the Luxe Glow highlighter. Again, there were two shades, one shine beige and two pink light. I decided to get shine beige because I have quite a lot of pinky tones. So this is what it looks like. And actually I got a brush in the store, and it's a blush brush, I believe, but I absolutely believe you can also use it for foundation. You can use it for highlight, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So this is the brush. I couldn't actually find the brush on any of the websites across the board, so maybe it's just like exclusive to Korea. I don't even think it was on the Korean website, so I think it's something you can only buy in their store, but this might change in the near future. So I'm going in with shine beige. It looks quite subtle at first, but you can absolutely build up the wow power with this highlighter. It's actually a really pretty highlighter. So it says, packed with fine pearlescent particles, this highlighter gives skin a radiant and shimmery sheen, coming in a pan embossed with a beautiful Cupid motif The highlighter glides effortlessly across skin thanks to its gel and powder base, available in soft princess-worthy shades. Now let's move on to my eyes. So there are so many eyeshadow palettes, and really Dasique is known for their eyeshadow palettes. And so I really struggled at first to think like, oh, what eyeshadow palette should I get? What color should I get? And the majority of the eyeshadow palettes have 9 colors like this. Alongside with my color matching video and also the video where I got my makeup done, I'll include both down below if you're interested to see it. I was matched as a cool tone, so I decided to stick to cool tones thereon after, and I actually do prefer cooler tones now. So I got the Cool Blending number 13. There is a warm blending, and it is the Dasique Shadow Palette Tea Blending Edition. It says Dasique's 9-pan eyeshadow palette offers tea-inspired colours in matte finishes. The smooth and soft formula enables seamless blending and precise application to create stunning eye makeup looks. Available in 2 versions, warm blending palette offering versatile warm tone brown shades, and the number 13 cool blending palette offering cool tone dusty mauve shades, which is the one that I got. So I will obviously show you all the swatches. I love the palette, the eyeshadow colors. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you, but they are so creamy and were a joy to swatch for that very reason. The only thing I'll say is, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's more for the sake of this video. They don't have the eyeshadow colors on the back, whereas it's on the packaging. So if that matters to you, not that you can refill it, but if that matters to you and you specifically like an eyeshadow color, then keep the packaging, or you can maybe make a note on the back with like a permanent marker pen, but just to let you know. We'll just do a very simple eye because I don't want to go too jazzy. I'm going in with this shade right here. It's a very nice sort of like cool toned base color. Then I'm going to add a little bit of this color. Just so it adds like a little touch of oomph to my eyes, and it actually really nicely balances and complements the roasting fig that I've got on my lips. Then just for a bit of depth, I'll add this color. So just think of the row of colors that I've used. That was unintentional. So I've just added like a subtle smoke to the corner of my eye. I don't want anything too crazy on my eye. I normally do slightly more dramatic eye, but I just wanted to keep it very, very, very subtle today, and I love the color. What I'm going to do is just add a little bit of that highlight from earlier, the Shine Beige, as my sort of spotlight color, but it's very subtle. Then I got 2 of the Mood Slim liners. There's several colors. I think there's 8 colors in total, and I got the one in Angel Brown, which is like a dark matte brown, and ash brown. So I'm going to go in with the Angel Brown first, which is the dark brown, dark matte brown. And I'm just going to use it to line my waterline, tight line. It's just perfect for that. Don't know if you can see the difference that it made. I currently have false lashes on, so it's very hard to do eye looks sometimes without damaging my lashes, but again, happy to do anything for you guys. So there, hopefully you can see the depth that it's sort of added to my eyes. So now I'm going to use the ash brown as my liner, and my signature eye look is always a cat eye liner. I like the feline kind of look, which again is quite opposite to what Korean girls like. They like the downturn liner. So cat eye like goes up, and they like this. They like the eyes to kind of look sad and cute like a puppy. But I like to have an eye look that says, don't mess with me until I've had some coffee, that kind of vibe. So this ash brown is very subtle, but again, it's great for an eye look where you don't want anything too in your face. And the color of the ash brown goes really nicely with the cooler toned eyeshadows. So it's very subtle, as you can see, but it adds something to the eyes, a bit more definition without being like in your face. Don't really fancy channeling Amy Winehouse's energy today in my eyes. So that is just a very, very simple eye look. So this says, experience the ultimate ease and precision with our creamy long wear eyeliner that that glides effortlessly along the lids, providing smudge-proof, waterproof wear that lasts all day. Our ultra slim liner design makes it easy to hold and control, allowing for precise application every time. Plus, the retractable tip adds convenience to your makeup routine, ensuring you get the perfect amount of product. Our eyeliner is not just for lining the lids, it's also great for adding a bit of highlight or contour to the eye area, allowing you to create unique and eye-catching looks with ease. So with the highlight, it means more like the lighter shimmery colors, of which they were. But like I said, I got the 2 matte brown ones. I also wanted to show you 2 other tools that I got. They're like mini sponges, and I thought they were really, really cute. And they're great for not only applying powder, but also foundation to your face. And they're great as a one finger tool, and you can really just get into the corner of your nose. It's great for concealer under your eyes, the bridges of your nose and eyes. So yeah, I really, really, really love that. So that's why I got that. And it comes in a pack of 3. Again, it wasn't on any of the websites and only in the store, I believe. And then also there is this brush, which is a lip brush, and it's very like round, and it's great for applying all of their sort of like tinted lip balms or lipsticks, and just like blurring out the lip color. So before I go into gift for purchase, I just want to summarize everything that I've tried and what I think of it now that I've had time to use it and it's settled down. So the concealer, I think it's nice if you're somebody that likes to make the skin look perfect. If you're that somebody who has the time to like spot conceal, you want to color correct your face, you have a lot of skin concerns in that regard, you don't mind using it, and you're quite confident with using color theory, then I would highly recommend this. If you're somebody who doesn't know anything about color theory, you are that person that just wants to literally slap on makeup in the morning in 5 seconds and be out the door, I wouldn't necessarily say this is for you. I wish they did have a separate concealer, like just one with a wand, and maybe that's something they'll bring out in the future. But I personally did enjoy using this. I think it's not an everyday product even for me. I think it would be great for maybe just like my dark spots. I think that's what I would do going forward, but otherwise it's not something that I would use every day, but it's something that's nice to have in the makeup drawer for those emergency moments and times. The foundation I really liked. I think it was definitely lighter without the Pro Concealer palette, and also I like the fact that it had this glowy finish. As it stands till now, my skin does not look dry. It's definitely feeling drier than it was when I first applied it, and I think it's one of those deceptive products that initially feels very like juicy and then eventually sort of dries down. So I will do a wear test today, and I will add it in a pinned comment down below whether my skin developed any texture, and that's my biggest concern as somebody who suffers from dry skin, and I'm sure many of you, as someone who is an eczema sufferer, which many of you may or may not know, it's in my bio down below in every video. As someone who suffers from eczema and dry skin, one of my key concerns is dry skin. When I go for a facial and they ask me what's your biggest concern, dry skin. So when I go for a foundation, it has to be hydrating, otherwise I don't want to wear it. I would rather tackle oiliness than dry skin and texture, if that makes sense. So I will let you know how I get on with it down below in the pinned comments. The powder surprised me. Yes, it's only one color, and perhaps it could turn out to be ashy on someone who is more warmer skin toned. Otherwise, I was pleasantly surprised at how just gorgeously it applied. It was so smooth and really blurring of the pores, which I didn't expect. So I really like that for that purpose. The Soufflé Color Pot, love it. So easy to wear. It's just very adaptable to everyday life. Even this color, it's not like frightening to wear it and, you know, go about your daily chores. So I really love this color, and I'll be interested to see and try on the other colors too. This highlighter is very nice. I love how it's applied and it looks beautiful. The only thing I would say is I feel like you need to apply a lot in order for it to really have an impact. Otherwise, it can initially apply a little bit powdery and potentially be a little bit ashy on some warmer skin tones. So that's something to be mindful of. But in any case, if your makeup, not just Dasique, any brand, if your makeup is ever looking a little bit like flat or like what, too dull or too like, yeah, just one dimension, then I always recommend using a face mist just to balance everything out. You can just use any face mist, just one that's going to just nicely mesh and blend everything together and make your makeup look like skin, hopefully. This eyeshadow I really love, and I love the cool tone shades. I love the fact that it's all matte. Although I am very weak to sparkly eyeshadows, as you guys may know, I think it's just very, very nice, everyday, cool tone colors. And they're not meant to be super dramatic, but obviously the lower 3 shades could absolutely be used for like a smoky or soft smoky eye look. And I love the fact that the names surprised me. I thought that they would be very cutesy, very girly, but they were very sophisticated, and I really liked that fact, even though it's a minor detail. I think the tools are very affordable and they're very, very handy, so I definitely love these. And the eyeliners, I've used them for a long time. Even before research, I just used them because I needed an eyeliner. I ran out actually, and that was the best way to test it in the humid and hot Singapore weather. My eyeliner didn't budge or transfer, so I can definitely confirm that they are smudge proof, as they say, and waterproof, but I can get it off with normal like oily cleansers, so that's no problem. And then finishing off with gift with purchase, it was very, very, very generous. So they gave me another Soufflé Color Pot in the color Coral Puree, which is a really, really gorgeous color as well. Very bright and appropriate for spring, summer. A box of Glowy Tube lip gloss minis. I really do like it, but I'm not a lip gloss person, so I think I'll just gift this to somebody, and that's why I haven't opened it for you guys. But just wanted to show you how generous the size of the lip glosses are, and there's 4 of them. Then they gave me a mini milk latte eyeshadow palette. So this is obviously the cool blending one, but this is the Dasique Shadow Mini Latte palette. There is a milk latte palette with 9 colors, but this is a mini version of it with just 4 shades, but it's so gorgeous. And again, I'll just show you the swatches. I love this, and it's very, very travel friendly if you want to put it in your handbag. So that's very generous too. And if you see, they are the full size squares. There's just 4 instead of 9. Continuing on the theme of eyeshadows, it also gave me the Blueberry Sorbet with 9 colors. This is a full-size palette, and again, it's so generous to give a full-size eyeshadow palette with 9 shades. Because these colors are not colors that I tend to gravitate towards, I don't really like too many pinks or too many purples. I will give this again as a gift to somebody. So I just wanted to show you though, again, how generous is this gift with purchase. As you know, earlier I showed you the Dewy Gel Cushion Foundation, and they also gave me another one, almost full size I think, but in the heart packaging, which looks like this. How cute is that? How adorable. And it's exactly the same. You open it up. I do think it's a slightly smaller size, or maybe it's not, but the cushion is slightly smaller, but it's so pretty. And that was for free, guys. So I got another foundation in the same color, different packaging, cuter packaging. So yeah, really impressed. They also gave me a brush for free, which looks like an eyebrow or a lip brush, but it's definitely a lip brush. But yeah, you can use it for different things. But again, a brush for free. Then they gave me this key ring, which you're supposed to attach to your bag. It's in a heart at the top, which is so cute. So you can attach it to your bag, you can attach it to anything really. It's a heart shape. You can see a theme here with the hearts. You open it up and there's a little eyeshadow in there, and I got to choose the color. I chose pink. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's a pink heart. Let's be real, I'm not going to use the eyeshadow in this, but it was just such a cute gift to receive. Then this is so random. There are three bears. Now it's part of the bears collection, and I will review that in a separate video. I have 2 really, really lovely palettes from the bear collection, and I didn't want to rush it by adding it to this review, and then or having done already one eye and already having one product on my lips. I really wanted to do it justice and show you all 9 shades in the Bare lip palette, which is this one, and then also there's a separate Bare eyeshadow palette, which is so gorgeous. And I think as much as I love this cool blending palette, I might love it a little bit more, so I will show you that in a separate video, which will be linked down below. But please do make sure you check it out, because that's a very special, I think, exclusive to Korea collection. But at the same time, I did find it on YesStyle, so I will also have that link down below. But as part of the Bare collection, they allowed me to design my own bears, and it was so random. And initially I'm like, well, what am I doing here as an almost 40-year-old woman making bears with a total stranger? But weirdly, it was very therapeutic. Now, how gift with purchase works in Korea is normally they will always give you something. They will always give you something. They're generally very, 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 very generous with samples, and it's not like the stingy West where you have to like beg or exchange a kidney for a sample. But the more you spend, obviously, the more generous they get. So for example, because I had purchased quite a lot of items, as you can see, I qualified for a lot more gifts. So it was quite fun in that they were like sending me to downstairs for this, and then this place for that, and then upstairs for that, which to some people may be annoying, but I think it's just very clever, because they want you to kind of experience the whole shop. And hopefully by experience the whole shop, you might end up buying something else, you might end up discovering something else about Dasique, and I certainly did. So downstairs I had to go get the heart keyring, and that is where they had these perfumes and different scents, and I didn't even know they did perfume. So already, you see what I mean, I learned about something new by being forced to go down there. But it was quite fun, and I had a sniff of everything, and they had some really nice scents. But I didn't want to purchase too many perfumes abroad and then have to bring it back because of weight, so I left it. But that's where I collected that gift. There was a cafe as well. There was no gift there, but it was a cafe, and it was really interesting to see that. I think if I had more time, I would have stayed, maybe had a bite to eat just to experience it and vlog it for you guys, but didn't get the chance to do that. Maybe next time. On the top floor was where they had the bears and the toys, but also the like bear workshop. Like I remember there were some customers who came next to me who were only allowed to make one bear, whereas I got to make 3. Initially I was like, this is so naff. And that side of me just took over, and I was like, this is not what I expected to do on whatever like weekday afternoon it was. But in the end, like I said, it was very therapeutic, and you get to choose the color of your bear. You then get to choose the accessories and the clothes. There wasn't like a vast selection, but it was still so fun. And then they end up turning it to a keyring for you. So I made this first one, which was a blue bear with some like random pants and a little like white crochet bag and white sunglasses. And this is, I called him Boy. And then they add this little like keyring attachment to the ear. So there's that. Then I got this one, which I called Rabbit, because it looks like a rabbit. And again, I think they're the same shorts, a little pearl necklace, a green crochet bag, a little rose on the ear as an accessory, and again the same keyring attachment. And yeah, this is called Rabbit. And then the third and last is a purple one, so I called her Pora, which is kind of partly my name in Korea, which means purple. And again, pearl necklace, little like frilly tutu skirt, a lilac crochet bag, a white rose, and then keyring. And you know, you guys might be sitting there rolling your eyes, but I think it's sometimes nice to bring out the inner child in all of us. And so I really did enjoy it. And initially I was like, shall I give them away? And I like them so much, they've like found a home in my makeup room. So what do you think of the collection? What do you think of the brand? What do you think of what I've tried, what I've shown you, the swatches? I'd love to know your thoughts. Personally, in conclusion, to answer my own question on the thumbnail, am I too old as an almost 40-year-old to wear Dasique's makeup? Absolutely not. I think as long as the products are good quality, I think it's suitable for any age. And I actually thought it would be a lot more gimmicky than it is. And I love the fact that it's accessible in most places, whether it's YesStyle, whether it's �12𝕉𝕉, which is pretty much in almost every big town in Korea. I love the fact that you can buy it online, and also the prices are very competitive. I know there are people in Korea that complain about Dasique being a little bit more on the pricier side, but when you compare it to other brands in the West, I would say it's more like a high street drugstore type price level, maybe a little bit more, but it's on that range. I think it's so worth the money, and especially if you like cutesy type packaging, cutesy type design, anything that looks pretty, princessy. If it's not your style, this brand isn't for you. But if you can appreciate good quality makeup, affordable price, I think it's up there in terms of a good brand. Like I said, I will separately review the My Teddy Bear collection. That will be linked down below. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.